So due to Chipageddon, I'm having trouble getting hold of certain ICs, the STM32 microcontrollers in particular at the moment. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be Cablegeddon, and I've managed to get hold of these, which is a very similar flat flex to the one that was in the TV, except that this connector here, which is sort of a flat flex connector, it just sort of goes on the end of the cable and latches, and I can't seem to easily remove it. There's only one of those, and that's on the end that goes into the TCON board. Can't see that at the moment. I'll put the metalwork back on, but it's here. It clicks into there like so, and unfortunately when I was looking for the connectors up here, they turned out to only be that type of connector that I could get at a reasonable price. So I had a hunt round because the connection here was a little bit dodgy. I had a 3D printed bit of plastic wedged in the back of the cable, and it was not really very reliable. So I had a look round and I managed to find these, which are same length cable, or more or less, with the connector on both ends of the cable instead of just one end, and I've put that in there. Works perfectly in both ends, and you get a lovely picture, and you can move the cable and it doesn't generate all sorts of weird corruption on the display. The other thing I've looked at is putting this back on, which is the metalwork. You can see the VGA, let's move that round, the VGA connector goes in here, which is this sort of area, and I've had to cut away part of the metalwork there. And the other problem is this DC-DC converter I've used turns out to be quite high, and in order to get that to fit, I've had to bash this metalwork out a bit and put a sort of speed bump in there. So a couple of little changes that I needed to do there. Other than that, it works. So I'm probably going to screw the back cover on this. I have to take the clamp off, which is here. Sorry, not clamp, the stand here. I have to take that off in order to get the metalwork on. So take it all apart and do that. I'll probably put some insulation tape around this area just to make sure we're not shorting anything out. I don't think we can. And I'll also look at maybe tying these wires down so they're fixed in position and don't flap around. I might look at replacing this DC-DC converter with a smaller one if I can find one that works, that isn't quite so high. But yeah, I'm going to screw it all together and check it works. I've just swapped the boards around a bit, so I've taken my PCB and put it in the original TV that I was given, and this is just to check that the LCD is working, and the power supply board and the TCON board and the inverter, so basically everything other than my board, and it does. So this is displaying a HD 1080p picture at the moment, and it's fine. The low quality is really the low quality of my video there, rather than anything to do with the screen, I think. If I drop it down to 720, I'm on a low bandwidth internet connection here. I'll drop it down a bit. That should be a bit smoother maybe, and not actually do too much buffering. Yeah, so it's fine when you're actually displaying. Let's stick some KiCad stuff up. I'll find my mouse cursor. Where's it gone? There you go. So that's really nice. That's definitely usable. So yeah, it's working easily as well as the other one. I had to put the link on the power supply just to keep it on, but so it's now worth building up another one of my boards, although I don't have any DC-DC converters at the moment, so I have to wait for them to turn up. Yeah, and get this one working as well. So two screens, which will be monitors, actually working. Excellent.